in this video, we're going to see a Democratic Congressman, Seth Magaziner, and he absolutely dismantles the entire premise of the Trump administration's immigration policy. You're going to see him lay out a series of just completely wild and heartless actions taken against innocent people. And he does it so calmly, so methodically, it almost makes the policy sound even crazier. You know, pay attention to how he uses the administration's own data and these really gut-wrenching examples to show that the whole "we're just deporting criminals" line is a total fiction. I mean, the Republican defense it has no leg to stand on against these facts. As usual, let's watch the video in full. I'm going to give you guys my thoughts towards the end.
Back, the chair recognizes Mr. Magaziner for 5 minutes of questioning.
Thank you, Chairman. Donald Trump said he would focus on deporting criminals and people with removal orders, but that is not what his administration has been doing. Instead, the Trump administration has been going after innocent, hardworking people who have committed no crimes, including children, including U.S. citizens, children, grandparents, veterans, students who express unpopular political opinions, and yes, even United States citizens. The latest data from Donald Trump's Department of Homeland Security, their own data, shows that more than 70% of those in ICE detention have no criminal convictions. They are locking people up who have tried immigrating to the United States the legal way, who presented themselves at ports of entry and asked for asylum. People like Andrew Hernandez Romero, a gay makeup artist from Venezuela, who came to the United States seeking asylum. Listen to this. He did not enter the country illegally. He presented himself at a port of entry near San Diego, tried to do it the legal way. And what did the Trump administration do? They put him on a plane to El Salvador, to a prison where he is still today. He has never been convicted of any crimes. He did not even enter the United States illegally. We have been asking the administration, can you give us a proof of life? Can you let us know that he's still alive? And they refused to do so. They deported a mother from Louisiana along with her 7-year-old daughter and 4-year-old son, both of whom are U.S. citizens, and the 4-year-old has stage 4 cancer. The mother of these children has said that she did not consent to having her children deported with her. Secretary Noem was here, and she said under oath that she had documentation proving that the mother had consented. She said she would provide it. She still has not. Representative Swalwell and I followed up with her. She still has not presented any documentation, any rationale for why this 4-year-old U.S. citizen with cancer was deported to a country that is not his own. And so when I hear my colleagues and when I hear our witnesses saying that they care about the lives of the children, I'm sorry, you have no credibility if you are not prepared to call out the injustice of deporting a 4-year-old with cancer, a 7-year-old with leukemia. Where's your sympathy for those children? No, Donald Trump gets a free pass, always, no matter what he does from this crowd. That's how we know that what we're hearing is political today, not a real concern for the children who have been caught up in all of this. There's more. This family in Oregon, 4 children, all U.S. citizens. These 4 children, along with their parents, who have no criminal record, were put into detention by ICE for 2 weeks in a Border Patrol facility that is not designed for long-term detention, a 10-by-10 cell that these 5 were in. They were just released after 2 weeks. These U.S. citizen children, where's the concern for them? We know why this is happening. It's because on May 21st, Stephen Miller summoned ICE officials to Washington and ordered them to make mass arrests, not to focus on criminals. He said, go after people at Home Depot and 7-Eleven. Because again, unlike what President Trump promised that they were going to go after the worst of the worst, Stephen Miller, who apparently is calling the shots, ordered ICE to round up everybody, regardless of whether they are hardened criminals or not. Please, someone tell me, what threat to our country do these children pose? Or their parents who have lived here and worked here for years and committed no crimes in the country? Is this the worst of the worst? Of course not. This is the same Stephen Miller, by the way, who was the architect of the family separation policy under the first Trump administration, during which 4,600 children were removed from their parents, some as young as 10 months old. Where's the concern for those 4,600 children? I haven't heard a word from any of our partisan witnesses or any of my partisan colleagues on the other side. You lose your credibility when you refuse to acknowledge the humanity of those 4,600 children who were separated purposefully from their families by the first Trump administration, or the children who are being unlawfully detained and deported today. I'll leave you with this. Pope Leo, His Holiness, posted on X about the Trump administration deporting people to El Salvador. He said, quote, "Do you not see the suffering? Is your conscience not disturbed? How can you stay quiet?" This is not what the American people want. Let's focus on going after real criminals, not children, not U.S. citizens, not people who are just trying to make a living who pose no threat. Let's focus on the criminals. I yield back.
Gentleman yields back. The chair recognizes Mr. Buchanan.
So you saw right there, he just he calmly and systematically laid out a case that is frankly impossible to defend. Like, with any semblance of morality, I don't see how you do it. He did exactly what I said he would, right? He presented the cold, hard facts. And those facts, they paint a picture of a policy where the cruelty really feels like the whole point. The entire argument from the right, that they're just focused on the worst of the worst. It feels like a total smokescreen. The reality, and Magaziner proves this with the government's own data, is just this dragnet designed to terrorize and punish, and it just sweeps up whoever, even U.S. citizens. Let's just break this down a bit. He starts with that killer statistic. What was it? More than 70% of those in ICE detention have no criminal convictions. I mean, 70%. That right there just it obliterates the entire GOP talking point. I mean, these people, they're not hardened criminals. Like he says, a lot of them are people who tried to follow the rules, who presented themselves at ports of entry and asked for asylum. They did exactly what they were supposed to, and their reward was to get thrown in detention. It's just wow. But the individual stories, that's where it gets really dark. He brings up the deportation of a mother with her two kids, a 7-year-old and a 4-year-old. And both kids are U.S. citizens. And the 4-year-old has stage 4 cancer. Just let that sink in for a second. A 4-year-old American citizen with cancer was deported. You can hear that frustration, that like righteous anger in Magaziner's voice when he says, "I'm sorry you have no credibility if you are not prepared to call out the injustice of deporting a 4-year-old with cancer." And he's 100% right. I mean, how can you claim to care about children and then just stay silent on that? It's genuinely crazy to me this wasn't or isn't a bigger scandal. And then you have the Stephen Miller connection, right? Magaziner points out that Miller, who was, the architect of this whole chaotic mess, he specifically ordered ICE to go after people at Home Depot and 7-Eleven. Think about that. Go after ordinary people. Let's be 100% honest here. This was a policy of state-sanctioned terror. It was designed to appeal to the most extreme parts of the base. That doesn't make the country safer. In my personal opinion, this is the kind of stuff that history judges incredibly harshly. When you're purposefully separating families, like he mentions with the 4,600 children under the first Trump administration, you're deporting sick American kids. You've lost the plot completely. You've abandoned any claim to the moral high ground. At a certain point, it stops being a policy debate. It just becomes a question of like basic human decency and the silence from the other side, like Magaziner says. That silence tells you everything you need to know about where their priorities are. Their priority is just loyalty to one man and his brutal agenda, whatever the human cost. Let me know your guys' thoughts down in the comment section below. While you guys are down there, do me a massive favor. Hit that subscribe button and also give the video a thumbs up as well. I appreciate you guys, and as usual, I will see you guys in the next one.